It's time to break down some football.
We got to get our mind right. Touchdown, win.
From the perspective of guys who played in the NFL.
Caught, touchdown!
And a guy who had one really great sack in high school.
Oh, you're so weak. You're a waste of my time.
Greg Camarillo and Marcus McNeil are the pros. And Skraby is the Joe.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
Two Pros and a Joe starts right now.
I'm going to pray for you.
Oh, man. You got that spirit? It's over. It's over. You don't want the spirit. You want the American Airlines variant, okay?
The Delta at the worst, you know what I'm saying? But not that spirit, boy.
That spirit, it is a pain in the ass. It kicks your butt. Yes, that's us, Two Pros and a Joe, talking about all the different variant strains of COVID that we got out there in the world. And we were just joking around. And yes, it's not funny that people die from COVID. I'm not trying to say that, but it is fun to have fun with it. And we were joking that companies are going to start like sponsoring the variants so that they can have their name.
I mean, so I feel like the Corona beer caught it the worst at the early stages.
Oh, for sure.
Oh,
Like, you don't want your name brand to be a pandemic.
Bro, I seen one guy, a Middle Eastern guy whose name is actually COVID. You know what I mean? They're giving it to him right now, bro.
That's brutal.
I tell you what, though, Omarion has made a comeback since the Omicron been out.
I don't even call it the Omicron. It's the Omarion.
It's the Omarion. He hasn't been talked about in ages. He's making a nice little comeback.
Hey, man.
The Omarion. Man, Two Pros and a Joe. See, where else would you get this kind of conversation on a football show? I don't think we would find it anywhere.
The locker room.
Yeah, locker room
true?
talk. Yeah. You talk about everything in the locker room.
Yeah. I'm sure that you guys talk about some stuff that is really crazy and probably can't be repeated ever again. So I won't put you guys on the spot. But if you want to join us on Twitter at Two Pros and a Joe, at Marcus McNeil 73, at Catch Camarillo, at Matt Skraby. You can also find us twoprosandajoe.com, Two Pros and a Joe at gmail.com. And this is episode number 53. The playoffs are set. They are set.
While we're talking about Twitter, let me take one step back.
Yes, please.
Somebody found us on Twitter, Two Pros and a Joe, and sent us hippos.
Oh no, they okay. So sometimes when people come to our Twitter account at the number Two Pros and a Joe, they think that we're another show with Brady Quinn and LeVar Arrington and Jonas Knox called Two Pros. I'm not even gonna say the name. You can just Google it if you want. But someone tweeted us this morning, and apparently their show was talking about hippos. I'm assuming because we got tagged in a tweet. And it was, I'm trying to find it. Oh, here it is. Hippos are the deadliest is what they tweeted at us.
Hippos are the deadliest.
They are
in the National Geographic.
So I quote tweeted, and then I just gave him a picture or a GIF of a really nasty looking hippo. And they never replied to us.
I thought the story went deeper, but apparently not.
No, there's not much to it other than that. I mean, I wish there was more to it, but there's not much to it. But you can see a lot of cool stuff on our Twitter at Two Pros and a Joe. So please go check it out and please go follow us. Please go subscribe and rate to us. And we have a lot to talk about today, as we do each and every week. But today is the playoff edition, and
baby,
we're going to wrap up some of the games from over the weekend first. I'm not going to start with this team. I'm going to leave my team for last because I feel like I've been talking about them too much lately. I've been shoving the 49ers down everyone's throat.
They're hot right now.
They are hot, but I can feel people are very annoyed with me at this point.
Scrape, low key though, I forgot to tell you this, bro. Like, I am actually a 49ers fan. Really? I don't know how I forgot about it. Probably because it's a distant memory.
Okay,
I back up when they made the playoffs. I remember.
Somehow I was like, you know what?
It?
I actually did like the 49ers, but no, like growing up, my dad was a Cowboys fan.
Oh,
right. So, like, I hated it, but at the same time, I was a 49ers fan because of Joe Montana, you know what I'm saying? Big Steve Wallace, you know what I'm saying? Then they got Steve Young after that, Jerry Rice.
Got Harris Barton. They got Jesse Sapolo.
What was the fullback? Not the fullback.
William Floyd was a great one in 94.
Yeah. See, they had squads back then. Dion came over for a while.
94.
From the Falcons. So, I was feeling it. You know what I mean? I was like, you know what? I'm not mad at Skraby for being such a San Antonio fan.
Thank
Bro,
you, Marcus.
I used to be there. I used to be there with you.
I could say that it's a little bit more difficult to cheer for the 49ers when Jimmy G is playing a quarterback with a half-broken thumb.
Really?
Yeah, but after Sunday, I think we got to give Jimmy G we got to give him. Well, no, I'm not going to start with this game. We've already talked about this, so we're going to come back to it. We're going to come back to it. Let's talk about the team that you both played for in your careers. 14 years combined. The Raiders beat the Chargers in overtime.
Can I just rank that as the best regular season game ever?
Really? Ever? Wow. Jesus.
Ever.
That's a lot.
I mean, think of the situation that had to occur to make that so impressive. So, I mean, just so wild. So they division rivals that both need to win to get into the playoffs. But then there's this caveat of so many different things that happen where if they tie, they both get into the playoffs.
Yes.
And it's flexed to Sunday night. Like you could not paint up a more dramatic picture than what that was.
Justin Herbert throwing how many fourth down completions to keep the drives going? Yeah, like it was just so suspenseful going all the way down. Everybody knew the only way the Steelers can get in is they tie.
And they tie.
It just kept on tying. I was like, at one point I felt like Vegas called and was like, "Hey, stop playing with us now."
The poor people of Pittsburgh, man, they were on a roller coaster all damn day.
Bro,
oh my gosh,
sweating.
Yeah, and then Mike Tomlin actually he revealed that he actually fell asleep at the end of the game because it's kind of crazy to think about, and I know that you guys may have been this team, but you're a team watching another team to see if you're in the playoffs. You don't know if you're going to practice tomorrow or if you're cleaning out your locker tomorrow.
Yeah.
And Mike Tomlin, as a coach, I don't know how you really organize that in your head because it's kind of weird. And you're thinking you're probably not going to make the playoffs, and then you end up making the playoffs. But Mike Tomlin fell asleep, and so he didn't really know until much later that the Raiders. I get it though. It's like midnight, 12:30 on the East Coast.
It's late. And he had a stressful ass overtime game himself.
Oh,
true.
Yeah,
and a flight home.
I mean, Big Ben's career rested on 4th and 8. Like it literally, if they don't convert 4th and 8, his career is done.
Not a better way. And it's not a better way to go right there. You know what I'm saying? Like win or go home right there, baby. Win or go home.
I mean, the only thing that annoys me about this Big Ben thing is that we've given him like a million last hurrahs, like goodbyes, and now he's still in the playoffs. It's like, Jesus Christ. Why did we say goodbye?
He got his home game last hurrah.
I'm fine with that. That's fine. I understand that. It's a last home game. But then
what was the other
last week we're riding, he's riding off into the sunset and he's crying and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
That was his home send-off. That's all right. I'm cool with that.
You talking about against the Ravens, though. You talking about the Ravens, though? Even the Ravens.
Oh.
Yeah. The home game was fine.
Can we discuss the fact that for the last couple of weeks, he has really sucked for about 57 minutes? And then that clutch factor kicked in hard
always
whenever it needed.
Yeah, it definitely did. And that's what makes him a winner. That's what's made him a winner around his entire career. He hasn't been the best quarterback of all time, but when he needs to throw a good pass, he does.
Clutch
you know who had the biggest game right there, though? I know we were talking about the Chargers and the Raiders, but before we get off of this, when he was dancing after the game on Instagram with his team, I don't know if you guys have seen it yet, but Mike Tomlin was going in.
He was.
I'm talking about oh my God, you got to check it out, Greg. It's all over the internet, but he was that guy because he was on the hot seat now. Like people were talking about, hey, maybe this needs to be Big Ben's last year. Maybe we need a new coach, Mike Tomlin. They felt like that. Come on now, towards the middle of the year when Pittsburgh was really bad, you know what I'm saying? He's always one of the first coaches they throw up there, even though he had such a great record over his career. It's too easy.
Can I discuss something from that game that really pissed me off?
Of course.
Marquise Brown having a nickname.
Hollywood.
It has been rescinded. He will no longer be referred to as Hollywood.
Hollywood Brown.
Man, catch the ball.
Why did he try to like basket catch a 5 to 10 yard?
All right, because it was raining. Because it's raining and you're getting a rocket thrown at you. If you try to use your hands, it's probably gonna go right through it. So you try to put your body behind it, but damn, he can't catch. All that speed, just wasted. Oh, it hurts my heart.
Bro, like when he got blasted at the end, I'm like, bro, you got one job. Just hold on to the ball.
Hold the rock, man.
Like, hold the rock, bro.
Damn.
Yeah. Well, the Steelers are going to make the playoffs, so we're not going to get to see any more of Hollywood because the Ravens are out. But we will get to see more of the Steelers, and we'll get to see if Big Ben somehow can turn back the clock and find his way into a playoff win or something like that. They're going to match up with the Chiefs, and we're going to get into that in just a little bit. But back to the Raiders and the Chargers in overtime. Now, I thought that I've been okay with Brandon Staley going for it on 4th down. And I know that he took a lot of heat after the Chiefs game where he went for it so many times on 4th down instead of kicking the field goals. But when he went for it on 4th down and it was like 4th and 1, 4th and 2 in the third quarter, and they were on their own 18-yard line. I mean, you are asking to lose a game by doing that. This is not a video game. And I know that he knows that, and I'm not a head coach. But this is not a video game. You give a team in the NFL the ball in their own red zone. You purposefully give it to them. You're likely going to lose that game.
You know, I 100% agree. And from the minute we saw it happening, it was like no one does that for a reason. It's not like you're being a trailblazer because you know something that people don't know. No one does that for a reason. And Jimmy Johnson, I heard him on the radio. He nailed it. He said, look at what you have to win versus what you have to lose. If you convert that, you still have 80 fucking yards to go. The chance that you get points is incredibly slim. If you don't get it, you absolutely gave up 3 points at the best. So that just the reward for getting a first down is not worth absolutely giving up 3, maybe 7. I thought he nailed it with that analysis.
I don't understand the new coaching strategy that he's using right now. It's like
he doesn't either.
It's like and I like the balls he calls. I like somebody dropping their nuts and being like, we're going for it when it's kind of that time. But as a head coach, you want to see them make decisions based off of field position to me. Like the game of football is so much about a game of inches that you have to control the field position. So automatically in that situation, when you're in a switch situation like that, it's like, okay, I need to kick it to switch up field position so that, you know, my defense can come back. It's like a no-brainer for him to make that decision is like, why? You know what I'm saying?
You're down 3. You're only down 3 at that point. If you're down 21 points, I get it. Screw it. Go for it.
Yeah.
Man, that hurt my heart to see that.
It you know, I like it. I do because no. Hold on. I don't like the decision to go for it in that situation. Say this is game 8 of the season. I'm fine with it on game 8. But this was a game.
Seriously?
Yeah.
18? If you're the Detroit Lions and you're 2-15, I'm okay with it.
Yeah, maybe.
Like I said, like this game, right? The one that he made that decision to do that was not the game to do it because you're win and you're in to the playoffs. And I feel like he's just overthinking it. And I am guilty of overthought all the time. I overthink everything, but I felt like he overthought that.
Yeah, I mean, it's cool to like overthink things in the game of football so that you can like see every different angle. I understand people overthinking a lot of things, but when it comes to like just game strategies that are going to leave you the clearest path to a win, you have to take that strategy, period. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like a game of chess, and the best coaches to me know how to play that game of chess very well. You know what I'm saying? They know when to hold them and when to fold them.
Know when to hold them.
There you go. I laid it up there for you, Skraby.
As players, thank you. As players, though, how do you guys react in a huddle? I mean, obviously they want to go for it. I would think maybe not. But I'm thinking he gets the call in, and some of those guys are looking around like, is he serious? Like, we're on our own 18. Does he know we're on our own 18?
If that was me, I would be more upset at myself for not converting than him for making that call. Like he put it on us. You gave me the responsibility and I let you down. I mean, I'd still like to blame him because I'm at home missing out on a playoff check. But for real, you put it out on me and we failed you is how I would look at it as a player.
Interesting. What about you,
Absolutely.
Marcus?
No, I'm with Greg on that. To be honest, like if you make that call and I'm on the field, I'm like, oh, run that. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's go, you know, but you got to have that type of confidence. And he probably has that confidence in his team. If you look at Justin Herbert, throw the ball around the field, like he can make absolutely every throw he needs to make on the field. You know, you got a back like Austin Eckler, you know, who is strong, can catch the ball, like he can run powerful. And then the receiving core, it's kind of like, you know, you taking your pick at what you want to do. So he probably had that much confidence in his team, but I'm sorry. In that situation, I'm still punting.
The other thing I'm doing, if I am going for it in that situation, one, I'm quick snapping it, like we're no huddle, straight to the line, going for it. Or two, I'm not snapping it until about the 8th hut after I tried to see if they will jump off sides. I'm not just going to line up and go for it, like just flat out like that. You got to throw some trickery in there.
I mean, at least if you have Justin Herbert and you're going to go for it, at least put the ball in his hands to do something.
The fucker's 2 yards tall. Just fall forward.
I loved Al Michaels in the game. He was like, they can't actually be going for this.
Yeah, they're not
going for this. See, they're just trying to draw them off sides. And then then they snapped it and he goes, they actually went for it.
And they failed.
Yeah, and they failed.
Hey, Skraby, I gotta address the bigger picture. Analytics works in baseball because of how many games they play, how many pitches they have, how many times a scenario comes up. It doesn't fully work in football because there's too many variables and not enough times that you've seen that. How many times have you seen somebody on 4th and 1 on their own 18 on the road in a basic playoff game? Go for it. There's not enough data to really tell you that's the right move, and that's why feel's got to come into it.
Feel has to come into it.
He felt something. He must have had a little cricket on his shoulder.
He felt something good.
Yeah. He might have been feeling too good. We need to check.
He looks kind of nerdy. He'd be like, well, I was playing Madden last night, guys, and I found out that if you go for it, as he's pushing up his glasses, if you go for it 55% of the time, you're going to make it 75% of the time.
Hey, man, he felt like he was in Vegas. He was like, fuck it, I'm pushing the chips in. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he said, well, you are 100% right. Fuck it. Let's gamble.
All right. Now that we've crushed him for that decision, let's crush him for another decision, and that would be the timeout that he called in overtime with like 38 seconds to go. And I am on, because after the game it came out that Derek Carr and a couple other teammates were saying we were probably going to kneel it until you guys called that timeout, and then we decided to go for it. And actually the blame always should fall on the Chargers not being able to stop like a 5-yard run. That's all they needed to do. And then the game would have been tied and they would have both been in the playoffs. But I know, Greg, you're not so much concerned with that one and calling the timeout there. And I know that that's not as big of a story as the 4th down, but a lot of people are talking about that timeout with 38 seconds left in overtime.
So I'm trying to think, I've been trying to work up an analogy. And so say you're working and tell me if this totally fails, but roll with me here for a second.
I got you.
Say you work at a sales job and you're getting close to getting a bonus. So say, you need 100 sales to get this bonus. The guy you trust the very least in your entire company has 90 sales. Say you have 60. He says, hey man, give me your client that buys 10. I'll get the 100 sales. We get a trip to the Bahamas. I'm going to bring you with me, but you got to trust me to give you your client. And this is the guy that you trust the very least.
Okay.
Would you give him those 10 sales with the trusting the word that he's going to take you to the Bahamas with him?
Fuck no.
So that's exactly what this is. This is your arch enemy. This is your division rival, the team that you fucking hate the absolute most. And you expect me to not call a timeout on the trust that you're not going to try a 55-yard field goal with nothing to lose? Absolutely nothing to lose. The chance that it gets blocked and returned is so slim. I can't do that. I cannot put my future into the trust of an arch enemy. And he called it with 4 seconds left on a play clock, so he wasn't really trying to conserve time. I am 100% fine with that decision. The problem was they couldn't stop the run. They knew they were running and they couldn't stop it. The problem was defense, not the timeout.
I'm kind of on the other side, Greg. Like, I really do think that to me, time was their ally, right? Like, like the Raiders had to get in position to score, but the clock was steady running. I just don't understand, like, just common sense to me is like, I'm letting the clock run as much as I can, you know what I'm saying? Because I need to put them in a hurry up situation, if anything, not just giving them more time. And then when you do stuff like that, I actually heard them talking about them actually, like you said earlier, Derek Carter thinking about kneeling the ball, if you do.
He didn't flat out say kneeling. He just said it's like time.
But just think about it. Yeah, it is your division rivals. We absolutely hate you, but is there something in a bigger picture where now, all right, we'll have 3 teams out the AFC West in the playoffs. We've already seen 2 of them. We can beat, everybody feels good about knowing the teams that'll be in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Why not go ahead and overwhelm the playoff, have 3 out of the 7 teams to where now you're at least familiar with the people you're playing so that you got a better chance to win in the playoffs.
So let me flip that script on you. So you're the Raiders with the ball, with the time running out, and you can I'll keep going to 55 yards, but it would have been 52 to 57-yard field goal. The difference being if you miss it, you go play, or if you kneel, you go to Kansas City and play Kansas City, or if you make it, you go to Cincinnati against a second-year quarterback who's never been in the playoffs. I'm trying to win. I'm not trying to go to Kansas City. I don't want to see Patrick Mahomes in the playoff. I'm not going to take that L for the Chargers to get in. I'm going to do everything I can to go find Joe Burrow because I got a better chance of winning there.
I mean, I never thought it was going to happen. I'm just saying, like,
it was fun. It was fun
in a buddy world.
It looked like it was happening. It looked like it was happening.
It did. It
was fun to watch, man.
It really was fun. I was like, oh my gosh, this is going to happen. No one expected it to happen, but it's going to happen. Oh, wait, Brandon Staley just called a timeout, and now they're kicking a field. Oh.
Okay.
Goodbye, Chargers. Goodbye.
Chargers, man.
Man, they're going to be sitting at home, but we got to give credit to the Raiders. They've been through a shit ton this year, and they have made the playoffs. A firing of their coach, John Gruden. Henry Ruggs is kicked off the team and in prison because he was drunk driving and killed someone, unfortunately. And then you have the other young guy, the defender or the corner who had the video with the guns. And then you had another cornerback who got a DUI a couple weeks ago. And so they've gone through a lot this year, and they made the playoffs. So good for him and good for them. And Rich Bisaccia, why is no one talking about him just taking over? Do interim coaches ever really do they deserve to take over the head coaching job? I know we were talking about this with Raheem last over the year with the Falcons. I believe he's a defensive coordinator for the Rams. He is with the Rams right now. So what do you guys think about interim coaches taking over the head coaching job like Rich Bisaccia?
This is your tryout, and he nailed his tryout. This is your interview, and what better result could you have asked for than take a team from turmoil to the playoffs? I mean, he should still have to interview, but he should absolutely have a leg up on the competition.
I like him. He was at the Chargers for a while as our special teams coach, and he has some nuts about him. He goes out there and he's that type of guy. I think he's a good fit for the Raiders. A tough guy with a attitude about himself, but also very professional. I mean, he's been in the league since I think the 80s, so it sometimes like it's just your turn, like when you've been in the league for that long, you've seen so much football, how to get your team, ready to play. I mean, how many different teams have you been on? How many different speeches have you seen? Like, how many different coaching staffs have you been on? Like, you have a lot of game, and he showed it this year, being able to take the focus off of all the off-field distractions and keep the guys playing on the field.
Yeah, well, he's doing a really great job, and you know what? I wouldn't mind seeing him take over as a head coach. He's made that team a playoff bound team. So let's go to the other game. 49ers, they beat the Rams in overtime. And again, Jimmy G, I didn't expect for that to happen. In the first half, though, there was an issue. I mean, they weren't getting much pass protection. They weren't even having the ball much. The Rams were going on these long drives. And I can't stand it as a fan when a guy is terrible for weeks like Matthew Stafford, and then all of a sudden he fixes his problems and he's playing great against your team. Yeah, it's the worst. It's the worst. So I tweeted out, I cannot wait for the real Matt Stafford to stand up. And
oh wow, that's what you got.
Yeah, and I got him to stand up.
Are you taking full credit for that interception?
No, I'm not taking full credit for the interception because I thought it was a touchdown to Odell over the top, and I freaked out.
Partial credit.
But Jimmy G, everybody was talking about coming into the game about how Trey Lance played well the week before, but Jimmy G wanted to go with this broken thumb and everything. And I admit I had my reservations about a guy playing quarterback who had a broken thumb on his throwing hand. I just didn't think that was even possible, but he did it and he won the game and he did it. And it's not pretty. It's not a pretty win for Jimmy G, but he drove down the field, tied it up, and then he had to drive down the field again to get that go-ahead field goal, and then they ended up winning. 49ers were winner, you're in, and I think this win for the 49ers is more important than would have been for the Rams, because the 49ers now, obviously they're in the playoffs, but I feel like they have that fire in them now, and I think that they're a dangerous team, and we're going to talk about the matchups later, but that game, my heart was going the entire time. Marcus.
Hey, let me tell you about that. I will say that I am totally off of Trey Lance. Yeah, I had like some sort of like premonition this weekend, or like just like this. You
had a vision?
I had a vision, and it was just like, I don't know if it was
what induced that vision? Tell us more. I'd like to know about.
Was it peyote or something?
It wasn't even this game, right? It was actually the Green Bay game. And watching Love play quarterback. And I just told myself, I was like, you know what? I'm not giving any more quarterbacks from a small school a pass. Like, I'm not. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you didn't play big time competition, if you didn't play in an arena that'll prepare you for an NFL game, I can't automatically give you a pass anymore just because you can throw a good ball or you can roll out the pocket good. Like, you're going to have to prove to me that you can come in and play football. So, you know what I'm saying? Until he comes in and just like completely takes over that position, I am not on any more like small school quarterbacks. I'm sorry.
I agree with you. We've talked about it on the podcast before. I agree with you 100%.
Yes. Josh Allen, took him a while to adjust.
Yeah, he's a Wyoming guy. It's still better than North Dakota State. He's
North Dakota State.
He's still playing better competition.
But why? I mean, Wyoming. Yeah.
The Mountain West isn't. I mean, the Mountain West is better than North Dakota State. Or I guess you could say, is the higher echelons of 1AA the same as like a Mountain West? I don't think so, but I don't know.
No.
I feel like guys like Josh Allen and Ben Roethlisberger, like those larger guys, you know what I'm saying, who can just like, you know, probably deal with pressure a lot better because the way they're built and, you know, just how like they are physically, like I think they get a little bit of a pass, you know, but at the same time, like if you're just a quarterback that has a decent arm, you know what I'm saying, like doesn't have blazing speed or any like offense changing skills that's going to like completely change your offense, I'm just done with it, guy. I'm sorry.
I thank you for saying this, Marcus, because I don't understand fans anymore. And I know that I'm one of them and I'm a crazy fan and I have my own opinions and I say my own opinions, but the people that are calling for Trey Lance to be the starter, and this isn't just a 49ers conversation. This is a conversation throughout the NFL, but people who are calling for the younger guys to be the starters, that's the wrong move. Trey Lance right now, his best investment into his future is to be learning under Jimmy G right now. Jimmy G is willing to teach him
Hey.
I mean, Trey Lance is probably not completing that pass to Debo at the end of the game where Jimmy G stepped up in the pocket. Jalen Ramsey like barely got it past his fingertips. And Trey Lance is probably not making that throw. He probably sees that and thinks that's too tight of a window. I can't do it.
That was a great pass, by the way, because that's not where the route was heading. He threw the ball where the receiver was open and catchable, not where the route is intended to go. Which is awesome. Like that's just, you can't teach that. That's just feel and intelligence. I like that. All right. So I got 2 takeaways. And then Marcus, I got a question for you about the 49ers game. The first one, something Kobe was known for. So say he gets the ball with like 30 seconds left in a quarter, knowing the shot clock's 24. Is that how it works? Yeah. Yes, he just fire up a 3 real quick and get that 2 for 1.
Yeah.
It's exactly what the Niners did. They got 3 before the half, and then they came back and got 7 after the half, and suddenly 17 was 10, and it changed the whole game. That totally 2 for 1 is so important. That was outstanding. The second takeaway, fucking love Debo. Oh my God. Yeah. He's so much fun. He does everything, and he does it really well. Love that guy. He's awesome. And then third, the question for you, Marcus. So the Niners started out.
Wait, hold on. Before you ask that, does Marcus not like Debo?
No, I said I love Debo.
Oh, okay. Because you gave me this look. Debo. Okay, all right. Sorry.
It was like when you hear that funk come on. You know, it's like, ooh, look at that ugly face.
Okay, sorry, Greg.
All right, so Marcus, the question: the Niners were struggling early, and then some switch flipped, and they just were like, "We're just going to dominate the line of scrimmage." Like, how does that happen? How do you go from like we're struggling to just we are going to run your ass over?
One, like I said before, like you said it just a second ago, matter of fact, Debo, like he brings that tough mentality, him and Kittle, where like they are just up in your grill. Like right now, like Debo's running, catching the ball. Kittle, he's catching the ball, he's blocking, you know what I'm saying? And then they have like a nasty offensive line too. They got a great offensive line and defensive line, to be honest. So when you have that, like it's just a bad matchup for the Rams. And I think they saw that. It's like, you know, the Rams want to play fast. They want to pass rush with Von Miller, Aaron Donald, you know, have Jalen Ramsey on the back end. So it's like fast and sexy. I feel like they can play a lot of the high flying teams a lot better. But when it comes to like smash mouth in your face football, I don't really think the Rams are built like that.
Yeah. I mean, they weren't. They ran 10 straight runs and then a fake pass.
Awesome. I know it. The only that Debo touchdown that they threw, the only pass on the drive was a Debo pass. It wasn't amazing. A Jimmy G pass. Last thing about this game, and I'm glad I remembered to say it, but that little twerp Sean McVay running into the end zone and congratulating Tyler Higbee. Like, what the fuck are you doing?
You should have saved it. You should have saved it, Skraby. You should have saved it.
For what?
For the fuck.
No, I had to get this out right now.
Just said it. You just said it.
It's ridiculous.
It came out of your mouth.
But you know who wants to be more famous than the player who just caught the touchdown? The head coach that runs all the way down the sideline into the end zone to give him congratulations, and then the ref looks at him and says,
"Don't forget, they're all the same age. Sean McVay is what, 18? He's like 34, 35, something like that. Like he's young." Yeah, I love it. If I had a coach that did that, it would make me hype.
Hey, you know what happened after that? The 49ers went 27-7 from that point. So you want to do that stuff, Sean McVay? You look like an idiot. I'm sorry. You look like an idiot.
I think
you want to take your players. Would you be happy if your coach ran on the field if you're catching a touchdown? That was an amazing catch by Tyler Higbee.
I'm gonna chest bump him and knock him over. I would love it.
Okay.
It does make sense. I remember one time, a quick little story. I remember one time and I don't know if I told y'all this before, but I got in a fight with, it's training camp, 2 days at Auburn. I'm in college right now though. It's hot. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's tired. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So
sweaty.
We inside drill. All of a sudden, like somebody shoves me from behind. I turn around, deck them in the face, you know what I'm saying? Like
I love what
we just start going at it, you know what I'm saying? As soon as I hit him, somebody comes and hit me from the side, and then like now it's an all-out brawl. When the brawl finished, you know what I'm saying? Like My offensive line coach was getting up out the bottom of the pile, you know what I'm saying, with his coat ripped, you know what I'm saying, because he was down there throwing them, you know what I'm saying?
Wait,
and
he's not the guy that pushed you in the back?
no.
I thought that's where that was going.
No. He was the guy, like, all of a sudden, I guess it was such a big melee. He's jumping in there and he's grabbing people and slamming them on the side, you know, like, so
And
I appreciate it. I appreciate the coach. Like,
yeah.
I loved him from now on because I knew he had my back. So
love it.
I kind of feel like McVay gives that type of energy to his team.
Okay, I can buy that. It's a really annoying to watch it when your team is down 17-0 and he's running on the field. It was like one of those things. And then I was pissed that Von Miller was on the team, and I was mad. I was cursing the trade. I mean, it was just a mess. If anybody wants to see a crazy person tweet about a football game, follow Matt Skraby on Sunday during the 49ers game. But those two games were awesome, and we're going to have some awesome games here getting set up for the weekend. So let's go over those games, and then we'll talk about some of the Super Bowl matchups in the next episode. But we're going to start with the AFC, and it's the 7 seed Pittsburgh Steelers at the 2nd seed Kansas City Chiefs. I mean, I think we all know the writing is on the wall here. I think
12.5 point spread. Is it
12.5? Yeah,
it's one-sided.
It is one side. I mean, the Steelers just went there like 3 weeks ago or something and got blown out. And this is probably the only game in the playoffs that I think is, I think it's in the bag for the Chiefs.
100%.
All right. So, well, then we don't need to break that one down anymore.
No.
The next one is going to be on Saturday, and it's the 6 seed Patriots at the 3rd seed Buffalo Bills. Now, this weather is going to be bad. It's going to be.
That's the key.
Yes, it's going to be 10 degrees, the high of that day, and the wind chill is going to be below 0. And it's going to be at night. It's going to be a winter football game here in Buffalo. And the Bills, last time they played a wintry, cold football game, Patriots only threw the ball 3 times, and they won the game. And I feel like this game is one of the most prone for upset.
Why would they put that at night, knowing it's going to be cold as all hell?
Because that's the better way to view it.
No, it's the way to get the damn Patriots into the second round of the playoffs.
well, because the Patriots are set up for this. I mean, if you're the Buffalo Bills, you've got to be set up for a home game in January.
As long as it's dry, the Bills are going to win. If it again becomes I can't throw the ball game, that's when they'll have trouble. As long as it's dry, they'll be fine.
The Bills just won the last game versus Tampa Bay, right? I mean, versus New
Patriots,
England. Right?
Yeah.
Yes,
yeah. So I think it's going to be a little bit tougher to beat Bill coming off of a loss than it would be if New England had won the last game. You know, Bill in the playoffs, I mean, he's nothing to play with. You know, even though this is the 3rd seed, how many times have we seen New England, winning that division? So I think there's a lot of that comes with having that much experience in the playoffs.
Yeah, I do too. And I think the Bills this year, I felt like they were supposed to be a lot better. And I saw a lot of games where they barely escaped or they didn't escape. And they lost 6 games this year. I don't think that they ever thought they would have lost 6 games. I think they would have said like maybe 3 or 4 at the beginning of the year. But 6 games is a lot to lose. Now, we didn't even talk about it. The Titans got the 1 seed without Derrick Henry. That's insane. And they're going to be on the first round bye week. And then Derrick Henry is going to be back in the playoffs at some point, so you got to look out for them. The last game for the AFC this weekend, the 5th seed Raiders at the 4th seed Cincinnati Bengals, and I feel good for Cincinnati in this one. I mean, they're coming off of a pretty epic season. They're 10-7. Joe Burrow's feeling it. Jamar Chase is feeling it. T. Higgins is feeling it. Joe Mixon's feeling it. Guys on defense are feeling it. But on the other hand, the Raiders, you can't count them out of anything because the Raiders have already been counted out at least 12 times this year, and they keep coming back from it. So what do you think, Marcus?
The Raiders got the most edge to me in the playoffs.
Wow.
For them. And I said that a few weeks ago. I said that the Raiders was a team that like people need to watch out for because they won't go away, and for them to have lost so much, it's kind of like they feel like they have that scarlet letter on their chest. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody was like just counting them out. And, you know what I'm saying? They were the poor man of the league for a while. And now they prove their worth. Derek Carr's playing good. The coach is playing. I mean, he's coaching the hell out of their ass. They just playing to win. They've been playing like their backs have been against the wall for the last 5 or 6 weeks. And that's the way you got to be playing going into the playoffs. So they have a lot of momentum. Cincinnati's young. So it can be, I think Las Vegas can slip around and beat Cincinnati in this game.
I do too. Greg, you have any thoughts on this game?
The only concern would be a young team that's inexperienced in the playoffs and the pass rush of the Raiders. If they can start getting to Joe Burrows, then they can mess some things up.
Also,
I mean, this goes all the way back to why you don't go for a tie. You got a great chance to win that game. They got their asses kicked twice by Kansas City. I looked up the scores. It was like 41 to something and 38. It was bad. Yeah. They got a decent shot against the Bengals, and I'm all right with that.
All right. Well, we'll see what happens. I love the Bengals. They're looking good, and they're probably going to be a team that we're going to see in the playoffs for years to come. So that is the AFC side. On the NFC side, you got the Packers, who have the 1 seed in the first round bye, which is so annoying to me. But Aaron Rodgers, he's probably wrapped up his second MVP award in a row as well. It's amazing what these quarterbacks are doing right now. Like Tom Brady, 40,000 years old, playing great football. And you got Aaron Rodgers, who's like 38, 39, winning his second MVP in a row. I mean, that's good stuff. But the Packers are number 1 seed. Now, the Eagles are going to head to Tampa Bay and take on the Buccaneers. Side note, did you guys see that Antonio Brown said today, it was probably the wrong idea to take off my uniform and leave the field that way. So
thank you, Antonio, for clarifying that.
Yeah, we kind of knew that already.
Yeah. And then all the shit he talked about Tom Brady, saying Tom Brady isn't the greatest of all time. That's a whole nother episode. We don't need to get into anymore. Yeah. AB, he's out there. 7 seed Philadelphia Eagles, 2 seed Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and the Eagles, they have closed the season out really well. I mean, they started out bad. They started out with a losing record. Everybody was calling Nick Sirianni a choker, all this other stuff. But now the Eagles have won I think 7 of their last 9, something like that, and they're in the playoffs. They're playing the Bucs. I still don't give them much of a chance against the Bucs. Tom Brady's too good. Bruce Arians has too much experience. This is just a good wet your feet playoff game for this young Eagles team, I think.
Yeah, I don't even see this game being a matchup. I expect Tom to go in there and handle his business, and at least Jalen Hurts got a taste of the playoffs.
Yeah.
I mean, I agree with both of you, which makes me think that maybe this will blow our mind. But
that Tom Brady's going to lose?
Yeah, it's not. No, I take that.
Okay. Hey, he almost lost to the Washington football team in the first round last year.
Almost doesn't count. They won the champ. He has a ring from last year.
All right. That's what I love to do, is bring back the almost. And then It's true. You bring back the fact that he won the championship.
It's true. Marcus and I almost beat Tom Brady in the playoffs.
Yeah, we were so close.
0 rings for it.
Ooh, we had it too. It's all good. It's all good.
It doesn't bother you guys to this day or anything?
No, not at all. Not at all. Not one bit.
Not one bit, Scrape.
Oh, you guys just don't wake up in a cold sweat.
Marlon, get down.
One day we'll talk about that in depth. But we'll move on to the next game. The 6 seed San Francisco 49ers taking on the 3rd seed Dallas Cowboys in Dallas. This is a matchup that everybody is looking forward to. Number one, because of the history around this matchup. The Dallas Cowboys and the 49ers have played in the playoffs many times. And I believe the Cowboys have a 5-2 record against the 49ers in the playoffs. And I can vouch for that, because growing up, the Cowboys used to beat us all the time in the playoffs. And little Skraby, 8-year-old Skraby, took it real hard when the 49ers would lose in the playoffs. It would bother me. But this game, I truly think, and this is not me being a homer, I truly think the 49ers have a chance because of what they just came off of and because of the experience that they already have being in the playoffs before.
I like it, Scrape. I think the 49ers got a good shot. If they come out and play like they did against the Rams, they got a hell of a shot. Dallas has to prove that they have to prove themselves to me in the playoffs. They just haven't been a playoff team, and that's just since the glory days anyway. The last few years they just haven't been playing very well. When it comes to the playoffs, if they even get there.
Yeah. What do you think, Greg?
If the 49ers come out with their mentality of we're just gonna kick ass at the line, they're gonna be totally fine. But that's the success. If you can come out there and be physical, it's gonna work out. Otherwise, the Cowboys are good, man. Like,
they are
well-rounded football team, and you can't just march into their stadium thinking we got this. Like, the Cowboys are ready for action. I don't want to say the Cowboys are gonna win because that hurts my heart and my soul. But damn. Let's go Niners. Here we go.
Let's go Niners.
Okay.
Having some fun. I don't know. That was really bad. That was really bad. I'm afraid of the Cowboys because Dak Prescott he's a really good quarterback and he can throw for 400 yards. But Mike McCarthy, also a head coach that has playoff experience. So we've already kind of broken down this game.
Mike McCarthy, man. He's the opposite of Sean McVay running to the end zone.
I think he would have to waddle to the end zone.
His energy. Oh, speaking of that, the Jalen waddling touchdown dance is the best
amazing
thing ever.
It is.
It's glorious. Love it.
Yeah. We'll talk about Jalen Waddle in the next episode because there's some pretty good rookie performances this year. But you're right, Jalen Waddle's touchdown dance, because he pretends like he's a penguin. It's the best.
It's awesome.
The last game is, I believe, the Monday Night Football game that we have, which we haven't ever had a playoff game on Monday night. So I'm kind of looking forward to this.
Love it.
Arizona Cardinals 5 seed at the 4 seed Los Angeles Rams. I think this might be the game of the weekend right here. This could be a 40-35, 38 game, something like that.
The Cardinals aren't the same without D Hopkins. They just haven't. It's just not there. They need him, and he's not there. The Rams walk away with that one.
Yeah, I haven't been too impressed with this game. Like, just throughout they played twice this year, and I think they split, but neither one of the games was just exciting to me. So I'm not. It's not just saying it's not going to be a good game. I'm just not really looking forward to it without D Hop anyway. Like, now, if I got D Hop versus Jalen Ramsey, hell yeah, I'm tuned in.
That's
I'm
fun.
locked in, but without them, I think the Rams go ahead and pull it off, and they probably need it coming off of that San Fran loss.
Yeah, I would agree with that. So those are the matchups here in this weekend, and we are going to enjoy each and every one of them. If you can review us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, actually Apple Podcasts, that'd be great. All you need to do is just go to our twoprosandajoe.com, find us an Apple Podcast, make sure to rate and review us because that will be awesome. And we have some good things planned for the off season. We're going to keep the feed going. We're going to get some good football for you when there is no football. But I guess that's it for this episode. We'll be back. I don't know why I say we'll be back. Like, we're on like TV. We're not on TV, guys.
After these messages.
I got to get out of that habit of saying we'll be back. Sometimes I write my phrases down so I don't say it. I got to start doing that. But that's it for episode number 53. Hopefully all of your playoff watching is fun, and we will recap all of those games next week. So that is it for Two Pros and a Joe.
We'll be back.